Ultimately, you got to decide what side of the hill you want to climb up. Struggling to create content on YouTube, I know what it's like. If you're stuck, or if you create content and you kind of hit a wall, I'm gonna talk to y'all real quick. I only got a little bit of time. I don't want to waste none of y'all time. I want to just come at y'all because this is a question that is asked often, right? Like, yo, Storm, how do you come up with ideas? Yo, Storm, I'm trying to create a video today, but I just don't know where to start. Yo, Storm, like, how do you talk to the camera? And I'm gonna make it really, really easy. I know I talk about practice. I know I talk about like being consistent. I know I talk about all these things in my videos, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Y'all need to start with it as like, and this is the first one. You need to start with this as a recreational hobby. You need to enjoy what you do, right? Just like you enjoy like going, you have a job that you dreamed of and you enjoy going there every day. Or if you have a favorite like thing, for instance, I love coffee. So I get it every single day. I love coffee. You got to create content with that initial like motivation that makes you feel like a kid again, that kind of gives you that spark. Because if you have to do this every single day, right? And let's say, eventually you want to make this a career path, because that there's a lot of people who have been successful and made this a career path. You have to enjoy every minute of it. The editing, the writer's block, all of these things that come with the nuance of creating on YouTube. You have to enjoy like all of that. You have to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to do this if I want to every single day without a doubt, right? You got to enjoy doing that. So I think if you start with this as a hobby and you make it fun and you put your own little fun edits. Like, I have fun trying different ways of creating. I have fun trying different gadgets and different cameras. You have to keep that fun and that joy. You got to ask yourself, what is your hill? Like, what is your hill when it comes to this? You want to go at it as a professional, you want to go this as a hobby, but start it as a hobby so that way you have that joy. Focus on like, I guess the initial idea of having that freedom, right? When you're a business owner, the freedom of creating and making something or having it be your own, starting it from the ground up is exhilarating. It's rewarding. So if you imagine the potential, right, of actually like quitting your job and making this your full-time eventually, right? It does take time. You have to plant the seed, you have to be consistent, but nonetheless, if you can say to yourself, you know what, one day this will be my dream job, it is I would say a powerful motivator. Like, it motivates me to say, one day this could be my job. This could actually be something where I can say, you know what, I can get up and make my own schedule. I can be my own boss and have the creative direction of how I want to do things. I could be the person that's in charge of, what happens with everything as far as, the company, right? That's the goal. Imagine that, like, imagine quitting your job and making this your lifelong dream, and fulfilling that lifelong dream, if you will. And when you start to think about like, and I go back to that hill, you got to choose your hill. If you rather have someone be your boss, right? Or if you think about that, because that comes with its own challenges and, creative differences. And there's a lot of things that are involved in that. But if you decide to yourself, you know what, I'm going to choose the difficulties and the nuance of creating content on YouTube, you got to make a decision, right? Ultimately, if you do that, the answer becomes easy, because it's like, you're your own boss, you're your own business owner, you decide what happens and you deal with the difficulties on your own, and those difficulties and those decisions are on you, right? That becomes a motivator to pursue your passion, because if you have a passion for this, you understand, like, ultimately, like, you're responsible. And I think if you take those thoughts and you lay them out versus your actual job, you would put a little bit of effort into creating your stuff or working on yourself when it comes to YouTube, or taking a little bit more time and doing a little bit more research and getting an understanding on how to create. And when you have writer's block, or if you have a bad day at work, would you choose the writer's block or the bad day at work? And that's ultimately will help you decide. And I said this in the beginning, right? You got to choose your hill, right? Choose your hill. There's two different ways to think about this. Like, and I know some people may not see this as a job. ultimately. But there are people who make full lifelong careers creating on YouTube. And it's like, if you think about it, it's become a lot more accessible. These devices and these cameras have gotten so good. So you could start and run your full business from a pro phone or any phone, and that'll just be what you ultimately, that could be your office, right? But like I say that, but you got to choose which difficult path, working for someone else, which is there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that to just, tell you to quit your job. I'm just saying, like, if you work your job just as hard as you work on YouTube, you can ultimately choose a career path, where it could be your job or here. Difficult day at work, difficult time trying to come up with an idea. And you got to remember, your creation, your mind, when you create, the ideas are endless. It's kind of where you limit your thought process. Sometimes you have to think outside the box. And I think about a recent time where I just, I wasn't happy at a job. And I just think about the joy of me being able to just decide, today I'm going to make a video about this. Or tomorrow I'm gonna review a product that I really, really like. And talking to the camera is difficult. Coming up with a script is difficult. Being consistent in creating is difficult. But I think I've been the most happiest when I'm challenged to create these videos. I think I'm the happiest when I'm challenged with a question that may be new to me. Or I think I'm happiest when I'm talking to someone and I'm inspiring them to do something they've never done. And I never knew that someone out there may be in a similar space or in a space that I was before, and I was stuck. If I'm gonna choose the hill that I want, I would choose the hill of creation, because I have so much freedom. I can do literally whatever it is that I want and create with my creative decision at the helm of this channel, or any channel that I decide to do in the future. You gotta understand that you don't have to compare yourself to someone else out there. You don't have to, worry that if you're gonna take a break, like how you'll be seen. You're your own boss. Remember, this is your company. Your YouTube handle, that is you. That is your brand. That is who you are. So you decide when you want to take a break. Creating videos is something I genuinely love. You have to just find your passion. And it could be in something else, but if you want to create on YouTube, let us in to see that. Let your creative decision shine through this camera. In any event, I gotta go, man. I said this wouldn't be too long, but ultimately you gotta decide what side of the hill you want to climb up. I appreciate every single one of y'all watching to the end of the video. It means a lot, man. I really have enjoyed the challenge of YouTube, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Peace.